Hello, my name is Maela, and today I have the ego popping up into my head, and we have so many different explanation about the ego, but basically, to me, the ego, and on many books, there's different definition. The best things that I experienced about the ego, it's a self images to the world, showing yourself, but not from your true self. That's the fact. That's the point. The ego is going to be the certain reaction. Let's say if you have an emotional reaction, personally, myself, back in the days, I was really, really on the defense, almost aggressive. Well, this images was created by my ego trying to save my life 20 years ago. So sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it can be good. So you're like, I cannot kill my ego. But at the same time, what we have on our daily life, not on a traumatic perspective like mine, because my traumatic perspective, it's my ego saved that programmed. And then eventually, 20 years after, sometimes someone talked to me, or I have an argument with my partner, and my partner put a trigger, but my partner doesn't know about my trigger. And actually, my true self, not really. And I leave my ego controlling the situation. And guess what happened? My ego served the same program than 20 years ago. He saw a warning, and then he gave me the same program. Well, when you take a step out, when you are strong enough to observe, take the position of the observer, not the position of the actor of the situation, which took me a while to do that. But at some point, you're able to do it. If you really want to do it, you can. Training kind of yourself to be the observer and not the actor. When you are the observer, you take a step out and you're like, wait a minute, this reaction reminds me something. Well, yeah, this reaction took me straight back to my traumatic period of time back in the day. And then you're like, wait a minute, the person is not the same. The person who just put the trigger doesn't have anything to do with the person who created the trauma back in the day. That's the point number one. And point number two, the situation is definitely not the same. The context is different than the trauma back in the day. So my ego just served me the same program than 20 years ago, when first, it's not the same person at all. And second, it's not the same context. So there's nothing to do. Well, yeah, but because it's an emotional reaction, I didn't take a time to take the step out, observe the situation, and realize that there's nothing to do. So when you see yourself having some reaction, especially emotional reaction, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just didn't recognize myself. What just happened to me? There's a big chance that this is your ego reaction, not your true self reaction. So this is interesting, and it has a lot of repetition. It doesn't work the first time. The first secret, it's taking the observer position, not the actor. Now, there's a situation we don't have any time. So if you don't do at the instantaneous moment, it's not a big deal. You can think about it later at night, whatever, when you're in peace, during meditation maybe, can ask, what did just happen today? Why I had this crazy reaction with that person when basically there's no reason. It sounds familiar to you? Well, I guess because it happened to all of us, especially when we are having a a big day, stress and frustration, while the ego is taking the control. The ego, keep in mind that the ego wants to keep you on a comfortable position. So it's going to recreate the same program over and over, the same programs with a S. It depends the situation. It's like, I have another perfect example. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not doing this because I am not good enough. This is another ego reaction. Okay? You have your soul, your true self on one side, who's telling you, you feel it right there. You have a butterfly on your tummy, doing something. It can be professional. It can be, I don't know, jumping from a plane, doing something excited, or you have to speak with the people, in front of the people on a meeting or whatever, and then just like you close, and you're like, I'm not good enough to do that. So there's a fears, and there's going out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of things. So your ego serves you the program, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing it. Well, if you take the courage to go out of your comfort zone, not listening your ego, listening your true self, there's a big chance that, first of all, you're going to make it, whatever it is. And second, you're going to be brilliant. Because at the moment you feel those butterflies on your tummy, it's something excited. This is your gut telling you, yeah, doing it. And your ego is like, no, you cannot do that. You're not good enough. Because it's going out of the comfort zone. The ego doesn't want that. The ego just wants you to be kind for the world, looking good, having, the pleasant smile on your face, which can be true, by the way. But, this is the ego. The ego is here to create this wonderful image for the world. But then if you lived in your true self, you will realize that you don't need any image. You're just yourself. That's why you're meant to be. God, universe, creation, Mother Earth, whatever you call that, the divine, created this soul who's here for a purpose. And majority of the time, the ego comes and... So think about for a second. It's also known as the word authenticity. If you live into your ego, you're not authentic. And the more you're going to go on your authenticity, and the less you're going to need your ego. It doesn't mean we need to kill the ego. Some people are going to say that. I'm personally not very big fan of killing the ego, because at some point the ego can also save yourself. He actually saved my life a bunch of times. We need to be friends with our ego. We need to recognize our ego, and soon you recognize your reaction. Soon you recognize that your reaction comes from your ego, and soon your ego is going to be more quiet. That's the secret. That's the key. So when you see yourself having reaction that you don't recognize, or you recognize from your past, think about first, the reaction is not created by the same person who created my past reaction, this old programs. It's this old version of myself. And second, it is not the same context. It is not the same environment. This is not the same situation than the old version of myself, where I had to save my life. Okay? Take the position of the observer, not the position of the actor. Soon you're going to be ready to at least understand that. And then you're going to train yourself every time. And if you can be around people who love you so much, to be able to recognize as well. And if you're able to hear that loving person telling, this reaction, it's kind of weird, or, because your ego is going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is ego too. Majority of the time, if this person who's telling you this is really in love with you, there's no reason that he's going to say that to you. This person is not here to destroying you. This person is actually here to take you up there on this progressive life, on this vertical life. When there's love, there's no, I want to, control you. I will be more than happy to talk about that and eventually helping you to this training as well, as I had to go myself back in the day to become the new version of myself today. And I'm so happy to be the new version of myself because now I can help people. I have so many keys that the experience of life taught me. I wish I could do all this before. It will probably save a lot of time to me, but it is what it is. At the same time, as I just mentioned, I will not have all those keys to help people. So don't hesitate. If you like this video, you comment, you share with everyone who is open to accepting it. If you know anyone that is going to vibrate it with this, send a video. Please share. It's here for help. And a lot of love to you. You are having a good day, and we will see you soon.